together, everybody. We are not in the same
physically.
room. But on the airwaves, on your listening devices.
Yeah, we have reconvened as a unit after a couple of solo episodes.
I know, it feels in a weird way like I haven't seen you in forever, but obviously I just saw you like
yesterday,
like 24 hours ago. So that's not true.
We just haven't done this in a while.
Yeah, we are also pardon the dogs. Oso is recovering from a surgery.
Yeah, and Mav was asleep until I started talking.
Yeah,
so
what's new? But we're gonna be extra nice because poor Oso. He's okay.
He's okay. He's just old.
He's just old.
Yeah,
just a crotchety old man.
Really testing me.
Katey is
really testing me.
Katey is really going through the ringer of a single motherdom today or this week. Truly.
I can tell he's going a little stir crazy because Oso's not like able to be played with.
Yeah.
So
poor bud. So
yeah, sort of a weird little house we're in currently.
Katey looks very calm and very put together, and nothing at all is wrong.
I feel calm. Actually, today I feel okay. It was yesterday that was a panic because, for those who don't know, Oso has stitches, and his stitches started perhaps bleeding yesterday, and so I fucking freaked out.
But he is okay.
He's totally fine. Apparently, it's a totally normal thing for there to be like a little bit of goop, as long as it's the right kind of goop.
Let's change the subject.
Yeah.
You guys don't want to hear about Oso and his wounds. He's okay. Again, to be so clear, he's fine.
Yeah, he just had some like nasty like lumps removed, and since he's old, the stitches recovering have just been a challenge because old.
We've got lots of great big things that have happened over the past month.
Yes.
Yeah. So, one, I got a new notebook.
I too have that notebook on its way to me. Probably soon.
I am the ultimate influencer. If you did not pay for rush shipping, it is going to take a hot minute for it to get here.
Yeah, I'm sure. I have not even gotten a shipping notification yet.
No,
I'm going to wait patiently.
It took a long time for me to get a shipping notification, but I sent a really nice email to them, and I was like, hey, has this gotten here yet? And then they were like, we bumped yours up the line. It'll be there soon. So once they shipped it, it got here really fast, but
sure,
it took a while. For curious minds, it is a Paper Republic Grand Voyager XL in the color petrol for me. And
I got the purple one. I think they called it eggplant or something.
Venezia.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah. So it is.
I really labored over the color decision because I was really stuck on like a classic brown, or do I want purple? Because purple is my favorite color.
And of course, purple won. But
yeah, purple won. Because it's a very deep purple, so.
I'm happy to report it is changing my life and saving me from my brain, except I showed Katey the notes I took for this episode, and she was like, actually, maybe that is not notebook because no one can read my handwriting but me.
Well, it's not even that. It's that it works better when it is in a place where we can both see it.
Well, for reasons that we all perhaps know, we're recording this on Thursday, I didn't want to be on my phone anymore yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday was too much internet.
Too much internet. So we're going to talk about a romance instead.
Yeah, something completely different other than gestures broadly. Okay, so we read
Beg, Borrow, or
Steal by Sarah Adams, who is a new to us author, but someone whose work I have seen just like all over the place, but we had never picked up one of her books.
Yes, exactly. New to us, new to the pod. I've checked out When in Rome from the library, I think like at least twice, and then just like not gotten to it. And this is, I had mentioned in my solo episode, the third in her series set in Rome, Kentucky. First Kentucky set romance that we have read, and probably only we ever will.
I cannot imagine
another Kentucky. Did you just imagine Brittany running around, running around Kentucky?
Oh God, what a waste of my life watching that show was.
Raw hail.
God, I want the Valley to come back.
Well, now that Jax is gone, and it's
Exactly.
hopefully not going to be the saddest show in the world, then
Well, and
maybe...
Brittany's got a new boyfriend. I'm dying to see it.
Yeah, we gotta wait a hot minute though. Did you see? This is so off topic. Did you see the pictures of their baby thing that Kristen and Nia did? It was so cute.
Yeah, it was really cute.
Those are some cute babies, and they have normal names.
Yes.
So
Thank
props
God.
to them.
For two not normal people.
Yeah, for two. Well, Nia's pretty normal.
I actually think Nia's less normal than Kristen because Nia gives like woo woo vibes.
That is a hot take, and I will come back to that later.
Well, I mean in terms of like woo woo moms naming their kids woo woo names.
Oh, yeah, sure. But I think the rest of her kids have pretty normal names too.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so we read this book set in Kentucky.
Yeah. So, and the only point of reference for Kentucky we have is Brittany and Jax Take Kentucky.
Yeah.
The worst TV spinoff of all time.
Yes.
But I did watch it. I have consumed every piece of media there is to consume about those motherfuckers.
Are we?
I will be watching Brittany on Special Forces because.
Oh my God! I forgot she's going to be on Special Forces.
Because she's like barely in the trailer, which tells me she doesn't make it very far. So.
Okay, peace and love. No, that woman's not athletic.
No.
Which is like fine. We all have talents in life, but like, no.
I love that Tom Sandoval was on it, also did poorly. And then Tom Sandoval was on The Traitors, a show he should be great at.
And then
immediately eliminated.
Apparently he got
not immediately. He made it far, but he like really wanted people to think that he was a traitor.
I didn't watch it.
God, that's the best show on TV. Traitors is the best show on TV.
Yeah, you've told me. Also, apparently Tom Sandoval made it like fairly far on America's Got Talent. So,
yeah.
Hey, I guess I'll find out when I go
Abigail's going to see Tom Sandoval in The Most Extras.
For work, actually.
Yeah.
So, it'd be great.
I'm so excited for you.
Okay, sorry, back to this book. I hope you like Vanderpump. If you don't, please watch that terrible show. It will
perhaps heal you in these times.
It will make you feel really good about yourself.
Also that, if you are even 1% normal, it'll make you feel good about yourself.
Yes. So,
okay. So I realized when I picked up this book, and I read like 2 chapters and I was like, listen, I know I have the time because I started reading this like, I don't know, weeks ago when we originally decided that we were going to do this. And then we had to do our independent episodes because of life and whatever. And I realized just sort of based on the vibes that this might be a series that this might be a better read had I read the others because the previous characters are so prominently featured. I have all the others from years past on NetGalley that I never got to. And so I was like, you know what? I've got the time. I'm going to go back. And then I opened When in Rome, which is the first book in this series, and realized I had read half of it. Because it was on like 50% when I opened it up. And I was like, I remember none of this.
Well, hey, that's
a
fresh
slate.
So
then I started it over. Mm-hmm. And so then I read that one and Practice Makes Perfect, which is the second one. And then I read this one, picked this one up again, started it over from the 2 chapters that I had previously read, because at that point all the stories sort of combined in my head. And I'm very glad I did it, even though it did make me fairly to down to the wire finishing this one yesterday. But I'm glad I did it because I really like the world that Sarah Adams has built here in this small town.
Yeah, I did not do this. I was surprised when yesterday you were like, yeah, I got to finish the book. And I was like, oh, okay. Usually it's me we're waiting on. Now I see why. So, no, I did not do the extra work. I read this one as a standalone. And it worked just fine for me. But it did make me more interested to go back and read the rest of them. Because, yeah, I actually really like this book. I think Sarah Adams is a really good writer.
Yeah, I think it's one of those where if you read them out of order, you still get the fun and the joy of it. But the books sort of build on themselves a bit, at least the first two. So the second one, Practice Makes Perfect, one of the main plot points that the entire book sort of revolves around is the characters from the first two books' wedding. So I think I would say it would be kind of hard to read the second one if you hadn't read the first, but the third is a little more standalone.
Yeah, this one felt very standalone in that, like, you have the characters from the first two, Annie and Will from Practice Makes Perfect, and then Noah and what's her
Amelia.
Amelia, thank you. What's her stage name? She's like a pop
Ray,
star.
Rose.
Yeah. So, like, they're obviously around because Emily, the main character, is the sibling of Annie and Noah. And then there's a fourth sibling, Madison, who does also have, like, a pretty substantial, like, plot point in this one. And obviously the next book will be about her. So
Yeah, her book is coming out in December.
Oh, okay. See, yeah, obviously. So, anyway, so to get into it, in my serial killer scrawl
Give us
of
that
an outline,
serial killer handwriting.
so we've got to start. The book starts with the introduction of Emily in Rome, where she is like, everyone knows not to fuck with her, but she's very beloved in the town. Like, everyone loves Emily, even though they know she's kind of, I think she describes her personality as like spiky at some point. Like,
and she's super like type A. She's very like, let me just do it myself, or like, why hand it off when you can do it better yourself sort of energy. Yeah.
She is eldest daughter to a T. She is the eldest daughter. She's not the eldest of the siblings, but she is the eldest daughter.
Yeah, Noah is the oldest.
Yeah. So the book starts with her reuniting with her nemesis at the school. It's the summer. This book takes place in the summer, so like it didn't even really fit back to school. But it's about teachers.
Really not much school involved at all.
We get some scenes at the school, but like it's on summer break. You don't even meet any children. So
no,
because they both teach second grade, I want to say. So her nemesis / rival second grade teacher, Jackson, is moving back to Rome after leaving for the big city vibes of Nebraska to supposedly get married. He did not. And she hears at her hairdresser that he's coming back and is like, fuck, I hate that guy. Obviously she doesn't. Not really. And then she has her first like run-in with him at her favorite coffee shop where he's sitting at her table where she works on her book every Saturday. So that's how we're setting the scene where they just like bicker at each other. They've known each other for a long time. They met in college and then ended up teaching at the same school, which is wild, but whatever. So
yeah, I'm like, how small is this? But whatever. Okay. But it makes sense when we learn that Will, who is Annie's boyfriend, one of the sisters, he's like attending the college that Emily and Jack went to. So I'm like, okay, it must be all in the same
vicinity,
very close region. Because I got confused by this a little bit because I was like, what are the odds that they both like end up here? But then when she said that in the book, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense because Will lives in Rome, so he must be like commuting, so it can't be very far.
Right, exactly. I like mapped it because at one point Jack says it's like 45 minutes from Evansville or something, so it seems like the town is like on the border of Kentucky. So the kind of one of the cruxes of the story is that they're both writers and no one
but neither
knows.
of them know it.
Yeah.
They don't know about each other until a little bit later.
Yeah, and no one in the broader public knows either that they're both writers because Jack, despite being a very successful and famed author, has a pseudonym, so nobody knows it's him. And then Emily is a amateur, sounds mean, but she's never been published. She's just been working on a book for a while. Yeah. So a real bodice ripper, actually.
Yeah, a real bodice ripper, which in the second book, Annie's book, so Annie is the youngest sister, And she's a big part of her book is that she is very like goody two shoes. Everyone looks at her as this like perfect little angel, can't do anything wrong. She's a virgin. That's part of the story. Like she is just like, I know, she is just like,
I made a face.
I know, she's just like this kind of like, everyone kind of holds her like she's broken glass kind of person, but she really likes pirate romances, which I didn't even know was a thing, and now I sort of want to read one.
Find a pirate romance, yeah.
Yeah. And so sort of at the end of her book, she like gets fed up with like how everyone's treating her like this little angelic creature, and she's like, and I like to read pirate romances at this like sleepover thing with her sisters. And then her sisters go, because at the time they all lived together in the same house. Her sister, she like pulls out this box of pirate romances from like under her bed. And the other two sisters go back to their rooms and pull out their own. Like, we also like really like one of them likes like Regency era romances. And then one of them, I think it's Emily, likes like Scottish Highland romances, because that's what she ends up writing. So that has like a funny little backstory that's not super necessary, but like everyone in this small town is like sort of infantilizes these women. They like take care of them in a way that's very cute but kind of frustrating at times. And so part of the reason Emily is not into the idea of letting people know she's writing a romance is because it is this like bodice ripper, and the town, especially this older woman named Harriet, would be scandalized by the contents.
Yeah, they're all orphans, so the town has adopted them, basically. And even though they're, like, full-grown adults, they've been orphans for a while.
This is a very Gilmore Girls-esque town. This is a very Stars Hollow-esque town in terms of, like, the characters and how involved they are in each other's business.
Yes, which, like, in some ways is accurate when you live in a small town, but, like, in this one, it's all pleasant. When you live in a real small town and this happens, it's not very fun. So yeah. At one point in the second book with Annie and Will, there is a petition going around that they should not be dating, which is insane. That does happen in Gilmore Girls with the blue and the pink ribbons. So.
Yeah. And then at the end, the petition is like for them to stay together. And I'm like, fucking stay out of these people's business.
Jesus. Well, okay. Anyway.
But it's very funny within the context of the book. But like after I finished the book, I was like, that was kind of fucked up.
Yeah. In this book, this did... Okay, so Jackson ends up accidentally buying the house next to Emily's, which is like a
He bought the house on purpose. It was accidentally next to her.
Yes. Sorry, yes. He bought... Imagine accidentally
There's a misplaced modifier there.
Yeah. But finds out it's next to Emily's, and they're both like, shit. But he is more like taking it in good humor. She's kind of like legit mad, and then turns the town against him. Like, or attempts to. It doesn't work because Jack is so nice, and everyone just, like, immediately is smitten with him. And they also know that he's, like, secretly in love with Emily, so they're kind of just like, all right, buddy, you can stick around. But, like, I was like, this is so mean. What if Jack was a fragile human being? Or what if he was normal, even?
Right.
Like, if I found out I bought a house, and everyone in the town was determined to not, accept my money for their goods and services... and also, like, exclude me from things.
I'd put that shit on the market immediately and get
I'd
out
have
of there.
Mental breakdown. So,
the most significant of which is the fact that Emily, like, basically blacklists Jack with the only contractor in town who's able to renovate his house, which sounds like it's straight up unlivable, like, should be condemned levels.
Yeah. That man was, like, sleeping in this house, and it was just, they were describing it basically as, like, a hut.
It was giving, like haunted house vibes to me.
Cabin in the, stripped down to the studs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at points he's like, I like to be comfortable. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I would be in a hotel. I'm sorry. Also, he has money. So
yeah, go rent something. But he is not allowed to stay in the inn because he's been blacklisted.
That's right.
Mabel won't let him stay there.
Okay, well, the blacklisting doesn't last very long.
Yeah.
So, like, and then they kind of start to warm up to one another, especially as, like, he's living there. They, like, bicker back and forth. It's all real cute. It's like a rivals / enemies to lovers, in that in some ways we don't know they're rivals, and in some ways we do, because they're both teachers at the same school.
Right. Emily really starts to warm up to Jack when she realizes how shitty his house is, and she starts to get, like, kind of concerned for his safety. So that's when she's like, okay, I guess you're all right, because I don't want you to, like, die.
Yeah.
Or, like, be severely injured when this house inevitably collapses on itself.
Because he's, like, trying to fix it himself. And
Yeah.
she walks in there and she's like, this looks like shit. And he's like, no. And she's like, okay. And then she calls the contractor. So,
Yeah.
So then they're real, like, there's two big turning points in their kind of friendship relationship. As they're, like, slowly warming up to each other, we have, like, she breaks down drunk in front of him and is, like, crying a whole lot. I think it's over her sister Madison, who is in New York pursuing a culinary degree. And they're, like, very close, but have kind of been, on the outs is not the right word. They've just been both, like, avoiding, well, Madison's kind of avoiding her, as we later find out.
Yeah.
And Emily's very hurt. Oh, it was that Madison was supposed to come visit and had to cancel last minute.
Yes, that's what it is. Yeah.
Yes. And so Emily, like, gets drunk and has a nice sob in front of Jack, which helps. And then we get to our most significant, not meet cute, that's not the right word, but
It's when they finally, like, team up
Yes.
against a common cause.
a common cause, a common enemy.
Yeah.
The principal.
Yeah. Because Emily accidentally sends an email meant for a literary agent she's submitting her book to, her school principal, who apparently is pretty buttoned up, kind of a prude, it sounds like, because I guess the two people have similar names, and so she just fucks up typing in like, lets the email autocorrect or whatever.
Right.
Thankfully, this principal is on vacation because it's summer, and so they then sort of begin to scheme to delete said email before he is able to see it, because it obviously contains her entire manuscript, which is pretty smutty from my understanding.
Yeah, I was a little bit like, hey, can't you just, like, call this guy and tell him to delete the email? Like,
Yeah.
also,
But
he
I
has
guess
a
the way
phone.
everybody's in each other's business, like, I don't know, maybe maybe just the existence of the book would have been a problem. Who knows?
Sure. Anyway, so they break into his house and he comes home from his vacation early, and then they have to hide in the closet, which is where they first kiss.
Yes.
So, they do manage to delete the email also. But
Yes.
primarily, that's where they kiss the first time, in their principal's closet. Mm-hmm. Wow.
And then they have, like, a whole ass conversation, and I'm like, they're whispering at first, and then the book never clarifies whether they're whispering or not. And I'm like, this is stressful, you guys.
Hey, it's Kentucky, by the way.
Yeah.
That man could be armed, and he would be right if he found some people in his closet to be a little startled.
Yeah.
Even if he did know them. But this is Gilmore Girls, Kentucky, so.
Right, exactly. So it's fine. And he's, like, watching TV and playing a video game, like, at the top volume conveniently. So
Yeah, and
then he goes to take a shower and they sneak out.
Yeah, so anyway, so then he reads her book. There's a very hot scene where they block out one of the romance, or one of the sex scenes, but they don't actually.
Yeah,
like,
he shows up at, like, 6 a.m. and he's like, I stayed up all night and I read your book twice.
Okay, everyone is praising this book. Well, I guess he mostly. It doesn't really sound that good.
No, it doesn't.
At points, she's like, in the beginning, she's like, oh, I'm doing this for a hobby. It's just really fun. I really like it. But, like, there's some major problems with it. Like, characters, like, lose motivations and stuff. And I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, yeah, these are, like, big plot issues. Like, why is he telling you that this is, like, a genius work of art when... Also, you know, it's Scottish Highlands romance. It doesn't need to burn the world down. It's
right.
fine.
It doesn't have to be a genius work of art. It's okay if it's just
fine.
just good.
Yeah. Then they really do fall into like a friendship where, sorry, Cooper's walking around.
Tip tap, tip tap, tip tap,
Tip tap, tip tap. Where they really fall into a friendship where he's like coming over to her house so he doesn't have to stay in his like pit.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like he's hanging out there. He's not like sleeping over.
Right.
But then it's kind of a slow burn.
Yeah.
In that Emily keeps kind of like being like, oh, I'm not in love with this man. And everyone's like, yeah, you are. So,
and Jack has sort of known, we learned from Jack's perspective that he's sort of known it for a while, at least in some capacity, because he's like, man, why was I like drawn back to this small town? Like I missed this one person.
Yeah.
Which is a little crazy.
Yeah. Also considering all they did was like mess with each other for like a decade, and like she didn't even say, like she seemed like she was outwardly mean to him at points.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
and the fact that he was like, this woman drew me back to this town. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. What's that one song? She's bittersweet. She knocks me off my feet.
Oh, yeah. Just the girl.
Yes, thank you. That's her. That's Emily. She's so mean, but I love her. So when they like truly get together is when at one point she's meeting up with all her siblings at the bar and their significant others, and she's like, I feel like they may have had a little bit of a fight at this point because he's like telling her to like submit to an agent, and she's kind of like, okay, and then she does.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, like, he is an experienced writer, obviously. Also, his dad is a famous mystery writer, so that's why he uses a pseudonym. So they're kind of like, she's nervous that he even like knows this. There's like, I feel like
there's a little bit of weird tension there.
Yeah, there's some insecurity about like Emily being like, oh, I'm in love with this man, and also like now he knows what is one of my like biggest secrets, and he read my sex scenes. Right. So she's at the bar with her siblings, and she had invited him there, and then he does not show up for a little while. Notably, he does not drink, and he explains like why he won't go to a bar because his dad was an abusive drunk. So it wasn't like he was blowing her off. He was kind of like working up the courage. And when he shows up, she's helping at the bar, and he jumps in to help. And as they're closing up the bar, a big storm hits. They admit that they are in love with each other. He tells her that he's AJ Ranger, which, by the way, if you want to pick a name that is not obviously a pseudonym, don't pick that one.
Right. Pretty obviously a pseudonym, but a good name for like a mystery writer.
Yeah, and like everybody does know it's a pseudonym. I forget too. So like nobody knows who AJ Ranger is. I think he says he has like some Instagram account for him, but it's like nothing with a face. So
right, yeah, because at one point his like agent is calling him and is like, "Oh, the publisher wants your fourth book to be the one where you reveal your identity," and Jack is like, "Nope," and the agent's like, "Yeah, word, cool."
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So he reveals to Emily that he is AJ Ranger, which he has never told anyone without making them sign an NDA. And I think he says he's like only like 2 people in the world have ever known like his agent, and then the woman he was going to marry, but she had to sign an NDA. And so he tells Emily, and then they do it. Yep. They go back home and do it. So.
Yeah, not at the bar.
Not at the bar. Well, they start to do it, actually.
Right, yeah.
And then Emily gets a call from Noah, her older brother, checking on her because of the storm. They all get nervous during storms. And girl has her laptop open and sees she got an email and opens it. And it's a rejection email from the romance agent.
Yeah, a pretty harsh one.
Yeah, a pretty harsh one, which the romance agent like knows Jack as like AJ Ranger. He kind of like recommended Emily to her, which again, Jack's really blowing smoke up Emily's ass about this book.
Yeah.
So yeah, whatever. Anyway, Emily just like breaks down and does not like take it well, which like it was a harsh email, to be fair. And she's never, like, experienced rejection like this. And she's experiencing it in front of Jack, who she has just found out is a very wealthy and accomplished mystery writer, whose books she also owns.
And it's, like, late at night, so presumably she's pretty tired. Like, she's been helping at the bar. Like, she's presumably had some drinks. Like, this is not the ideal time to receive big news.
It is not. And then they have their quote-unquote, like, breakup fight, where it's kind of they're both right. Like, Jack is like, hey, please don't push me away like you always do. Like, you are... Emily calls it, like, shoving her feelings down into her treasure chest of doom. And he's basically like, don't do that. Like, let me be here for you. And Emily's like, oh, so you want me to be, like, immediately vulnerable with you, even though that's really hard for me? That's not fair. Mm-hmm. So they're both right, in a way. Yeah. Like, no one is wrong here. And then they kind of ended on the, like, we need to take a beat. And, well, Emily is like, we need to take a beat and, like, evaluate whether this, like, makes sense and what we want. Mm-hmm. So Jack leaves his house and goes and stays at the inn because he doesn't have AC. And Mabel talks some sense into him.
Yeah.
And is kind of like, Jack is kind of like, oh, I was totally wrong. And I was like, well, you weren't totally wrong. Like, Emily deeply needs therapy.
Right.
Although I think she does say she's in therapy. And I'm like, bestie, I don't think it's working.
Yeah, let's try twice a week, babe.
Yeah, let's try it twice. What's that one that DMT or something?
Like, yeah. Not TMT.
Did I make that up? What is that acronym?
Well, DMT is a drug.
Oh.
The one that's on the backs of frogs. It's like a hallucinogenic drug.
We could try that.
Fuck, what is it?
I don't know. The one...
I completely could have thought of it had you not said DMT, and now my brain is elsewhere.
Well, you know, hey, you're depressed? Try ketamine.
Someone told that to Abigail once.
Yeah. No, I will not try ketamine. Just FYI to curious minds. Anyway, so, yeah. Emily is working on it, though. She's working on it, but... Yeah, let's try twice a week, indeed. And the siblings kind of intervene, and they're having... Madison has come back into town, like, kind of tries to quit culinary school, and Emily's like, no, this is your hard thing. You got to go do it. And this is where I was like, good job, Emily. You're right. Don't let her quit culinary school. Mm-hmm. And also, you got to keep going on your book, Emily. Good job.
Yeah.
So the siblings intervene, invite Jack to this, like, family dinner, which I guess they're making breakfast for dinner because Amelia's making these really horrible pancakes.
That dates back to the first book.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So then Emily, like, Jack apologized to Emily. Emily kind of, like, freaks out and hides in the pantry. And then all of the siblings come and, like, give her, like, a pep talk. And then when she comes out and she's, like, ready to, like, talk to Jack, Noah or one of them is like, hey, he had to leave. It's not with you. His mom called, but he said he will see you later. And she's like, oh, fuck. Because she knows about his parent situation that, like, it's not good. Mm-hmm. And, yeah, so then we cut to... This book is dual perspective, by the way, which I imagine the other two are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it cuts to Jack, and he is at his parents' house, and his dad is being a dick to him and his mom. And finally, Jack's like, I've had enough. I'm not coming back here anymore. And also, I'm more successful than you. Because I'm AJ Ranger. And then he, like, slams the door and leaves. So then he returns home, and that's when they finally truly do it in the back of Emily's truck. Which, ow. But
yeah, not comfy.
Well, they, you know, she did make a pallet back there, but still, you know, bugs and a truck. Yeah. So, you know, when I say back, I mean bed of the truck.
Bed of the truck, yeah.
Yeah. So I've been in a truck before, I swear. Multiple times. More than once. No, many a time. I grew up in a rural area. I know about trucks. Anyway, so...
Say more about trucks, Abigail. Keep that one going.
Axles and hitches and...
Those are words.
Yeah. Truck nuts and... I know my culture.
Harriet, the old lady side character in this book, would never let any man in this town have truck nuts.
Absolutely not. Nor should you let anyone in your town that has truck nuts, as a general rule.
True.
No.
Take those off. Do a light vandalize.
Absolutely. We'll sign off on that. A very, very light vandalism.
Yeah. So. Or theft, or I don't know what you would be charged with, but it's something.
Who's to say they didn't bounce off on I-35? I don't know. They're just gone. Who's to say? Anyway, so then the book kind of... So the next morning, turns out Jack's dad, whose name escapes me...
It's like Frederick, right?
Oh, it is Frederick. Yeah, it's because it's stupid.
Yeah.
Frederick reveals on his, like, Instagram live stream, which I'm like, this man doesn't know how to use Instagram.
Totally does not, yeah.
It's like, my son is AJ Ranger, and he wanted me to tell you. Which, if I saw this as a reader, I'd be like, absolutely the fuck not. You're nuts.
Well, and he also was like, I've been helping him with these books, basically. So he like takes partial credit,
which obviously does not last long because Jack had like decided the night before that he was like, I've told my dad I'm like actually ready to tell people, partially because Emily has been so supportive and it's really nice. Jack gets on the phone with his agent and is like, absolutely the fuck not, time for that cease and desist, and the end. That's the book.
So my only real gripe about all three of these books is that they all sort of end like this. It's like slow burn, slow burn, slow burn, and then like abrupt ending, which was a little frustrating to read 3 times subsequently, because the first time I was like, okay, first book in the series. Not her first book, but first book in the series. Like,
sure.
You know, you're getting a feel for it, whatever. But all of them have this, like, super similar formula where I was just like, meh.
Yeah. Also, like, that plot point would have been far more interesting to me than, like, them trying to steal Emily's manuscript. Well, like, we spent a lot of time trying to steal Emily's manuscript back.
Right.
And we could have spent some of that time on, hey, how do you deal with the fallout of your shithead dad revealing your secret identity to the world?
Yeah. Like, I will say the first 2 books are dual perspective, but they are more focused on the, like, needs, wants, problems of the female lead. But they do round out the male characters a little more than I think Jack gets rounded out here, because, like, pretty much all of his problems in this book are helping Emily.
Yeah, besides his shitty house.
Right.
But, yes, I agree. So, as eldest daughters, this is a tough book.
Yeah, there were parts of this book, and there's also some light discussion, which I thought there would be more, because there is a disclaimer at the beginning of this book about, like, grief and depression. And so I was like, oh, we might be getting into some heavy shit. And we do get into Emily's depression a little bit, but not as much as I was expecting, considering there was a content warning at the beginning. But also the way that it is written about feels very real, where she's like, okay, there was nothing for me to do today, so I didn't get out of bed. Like, I had a hard time getting out of bed, and I had to force myself to do it, basically. So while the touches were kind of light, I felt like we got some good representation of, like, what it's like being, like, a high-functioning person living in sort of less than ideal spaces inside of your brain.
Yeah, I thought unfortunately, lots of Emily's anxieties are my anxieties. We both have the same terrible attachment style of everyone is going to leave me, and that's just inevitable. And you really see that at points with Emily and her sister Madison, who is, you know, living her life and going to culinary school. And that's why it's such a big moment when Emily's like, no, you need to stay in culinary school and you can come back later, but you can't come back right now.
Right.
But that representation is hard to read on the page if you experience it also. And I think, like, it's probably a very common one for high-functioning eldest daughters who have had, like, siblings that they have felt responsible for, or generally are just, like, high-functioning people who feel responsible for lots of things. Is like, yes, I'm useful till I'm not. And that is my biggest anxiety of all time. So, ouch. Big ouch. Emily, I relate to you a little too much, but yeah, I don't know. It's like, it's hard and weird and healthy also to see that stuff on the page when it hits so close to home. And
yeah, especially when it is sort of handled with like a semi-light touch, being like, this isn't like an Abby Jimenez where we're digging really deep in these big feelings and making them like a big sort of emotional arc. They just like exist alongside the daily lives of these characters. And like, yes, they do rear their heads for like major plot points and stuff, but it is not like, I don't know, it's not like this big sweeping emotional thing like we get with like an Abby Jimenez. It's just like also there alongside all of the silly shenanigans and like other things, which I really liked the way that it was sort of baked into this book, and the way that similar issues are baked into the other books in this series, where it's like, we are going to talk about real shit, but this is also a silly.
yeah, like you have to emotionally prepare to write or to read an Abby Jimenez because it is so fucking heavy at points.
Or even an Emily Henry for that matter.
Yeah. And this is the more at time, well, you know, I don't want to say like Abby's are not realistic because sometimes they are, but this is the more like day-to-day life of like, hey, I'm doing okay, like, but this is like my general struggle with myself or whatever.
Right. It's not like the melancholy undertone that we get with Abby's books or even like some of Emily's books. It's just like, okay, today was a bad day or I had a hard time this morning, but now I'm better this afternoon. I feel better.
Right. This is the more stasis version of being somebody who lives with anxiety, depression, a fearful, avoidant attachment style.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I think, like, also we get this theme of rejection and the way that Emily deals with rejection from kind of, I guess, from a couple different places. Like, mainly, of course, from her book, but feeling like Jack is a better teacher than her. Like, I don't know if rejection is necessarily that, but like, Emily has a hard time with rejection. Or even, like, perceived rejection. Like, her perceived rejection that Madison moved away because she didn't want to be with Emily anymore. And that is, I think it was interesting to, read in this setting as, obviously, like, we don't write fiction. But we are editors and writers as people. And you do kind of forget when you do it professionally, like how gutting it is sometimes for somebody to be like, this wasn't very good. Even though for us, in a lot of ways, like that's a pretty normal fact of our week of somebody handing something over and being like, yeah, you got to change this. And like, okay, sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
Right. And I think it's like, I think there's also and this is probably a little bit what you're saying, but like the idea of like, this is the first time she's doing it professionally, and then she's also getting this feedback that is not from like a trusted person. Like she tells Jack like, no, give me your worst. I want like harsh feedback. But then when she gets that from this potential agent, it's heavy. And like that, I think you and I can both kind of relate to, because like we look at each other's stuff all the time, and we have like other kind of trusted people that we send stuff to, that I'm like you could give me the harshest criticism ever and I would be like, all right, I trust Abigail's judgment. Like, sucks to kind of hear that this wasn't maybe as good as I thought, but like this just makes it better. But like a stranger gives me that same feedback, I'm going to spiral to you about it for a week.
Yeah. And also it does take the way that she talks about the agent who is giving her the shitty feedback is like when it's somebody who's not trusted, you can either like they're like I think I find I would kind of used to fall into this trap. I don't as much anymore, but into the trap of, well, they don't know me at all. I don't trust this feedback, but you know, et cetera, et cetera. Or this person is the best person in the entire business, and if they say it's shit, then it's shit.
Right.
And that's kind of what Emily does here, which is, you know, like a very understandable mindset if you also don't know the person who is giving you the feedback of like, you know, obviously this agent does not necessarily have like Emily's best interests at heart. She's doing her job.
Right.
Like
Exactly.
she doesn't know her. But yeah, you can build somebody's opinion up in your mind into this is the end all be all and I should never touch a pen ever again.
Right.
Which is not true. And I think like in conversations that we've had with like Sarah Adler on here and like other people who write creatively, it is different than, you know, what we do where there is kind of more quote unquote rules added at points. And like a lot of times fixing of, you know, things that we work on or write is like getting back on track into some of those rules in a way.
Right, exactly. And there's also, you know, we don't have the as much vulnerability necessarily as people who write creatively do in our work. Sometimes we do, because sometimes we're writing from a personal perspective, but
it's different.
But yeah, it certainly is different. Yeah. And it's also like, it's one of those things that like, again, this is Emily's first time getting any sort of feedback in this way. So it also is kind of something like, it's a rite of passage. Like, I think we can all like, you, me, anybody listening to this who puts any sort of like creative work into the world. And I'm lumping journalism into this because it is creative. I think we can all remember the first time or times that we got pretty harsh feedback, and you do kind of just have to, you grow out of it. You get used to it. You learn what to take and what to let slide off of you. It's just sort of a part of the journey. We were lucky enough that happened for us like in college.
Exactly.
And if going through that now would be hard in a different way, I think. And so Emily going through it, quote unquote, later in life, you know, we actually don't know how old she
32 or 33, I think she
says.
you're
right. Yeah. So like almost exactly my age.
Yeah.
And I think going through something like that now would be hard in a different way.
Yeah. I am fully aware that part of the reason I, you know, do what I do is because I'm good at it. And if I broke out and like tried to do something pretty different, it would take the same retraining of my brain to be like,
totally,
hey, no, we like feedback. This is good. But if it was something like truly risky that I like really, really cared about, it's gonna knock me off my horse.
Right, like something completely different than what we do. Like if we decided to start like making music or something like that, you know, like something we know nothing about to an extent. It's not even like a different sort of writing, but like something completely different. It would be fucking terrifying.
Yep. And I'm not a risk taker, so.
Me neither. That's crazy.
Whoa. Who would have guessed? That's wild. So, I'd also, you know, before we wrap this up, I would be remiss to finally say we finally got a motorcycle man.
We did. And a good one.
And a good one, and an accurate one, and one who wears a helmet. And does kind of have terrible tattoos, but a different genre of terrible tattoos.
Yeah.
It was not a Harley man. So,
yeah.
Wow. What a joy. What a joy. I texted Katie and I was like, he's finally here. A guy who, like, We got one. And Emily rides on the motorcycle.
Yeah.
Which is wild.
Yeah, we get a
really
nice
cute.
little scene of her getting on the bike.
But then he sells it at the end of the book, which I was like, no, like keep it.
Yeah, because she eventually comes around to it. Like it would be like at first she was like, you know, these are mad dangerous, right? And he's like, yeah, it's awesome.
They are. Yeah. Which like she's right, but he wears a helmet, full pads, And when he takes Emily on the bike, he like goes real nice and slow. And she has fun. And then he's like, I'm getting rid of it. You don't like it. And she's like, okay. I'm like, no. Keep the bike. Keep the bike.
Right.
So anyway, for our next book, Katie, you said we got a very positive reception for...
Yeah. So let me find the New York Times article.
Tip tap, tip tap.
Tip tap, tip tap. I really like Olivia Waite at the New York Times, for what it's worth.
Oh, the romance writer? Mm-hmm. Yeah, she does very good roundups, and I think they're always very... like, there's a lot of variety in them.
She always finds stuff that doesn't come across my path, which, like, not to be like this, but a lot of things come across my path because I seek them out. I've made my social media feeds and stuff that way, and she manages to, like, point stuff out that I'm like, you're saying this is the best book of the year, and I've literally never even heard of it. So
Yep.
So Olivia Waite, the New York Times romance writer, put out this article on August 20th, so a couple weeks ago, that I shared on our Instagram. And the headline is, if you have time for just one romance novel, make it this one, which is
bold
high praise.
Yeah.
And the subhead is, our critic says Regina Black's August Lane is the best book she's read this year. So when I was a little tipsy the other day, shared this on our Instagram stories and was like, should we? And a bunch of y'all were like, yes. So
here we are.
I guess we gotta. I will read an excerpt from this New York Times book review story. August Lane is a second-chance romance and a powerhouse of the genre, a sullen, smoldering ember that's one breath away from blazing into an inferno. To be honest, I'm a little mad you're reading my column and not this book right now. August was abandoned by her superstar mother, JoJo, raised by her grandmother, and betrayed by the boy she loved. That boy, Luke Randall, stole a song they'd co-written and became a country music star himself. Yeah.
I have heard about this book.
You have?
But like, it was like in a roundup of like books coming out. Like, it wasn't...
Like
I don't think
anticipated books or whatever.
Yeah, it was something like that, but I don't think it was like a review of like, this is the best book ever. It was like, this book is coming. So, ooh, okay.
So he became a country star himself. And now JoJo's being inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame and has asked Luke to sing his signature hit as a duet on stage in Arcadia, their hometown. Everything that was taken from August is on that concert stage, and it will all go up in smoke if she tells anyone that Luke had a co-writer. Contracts, royalties, sponsorships, poof. Revenge is right there for the taking. Except August doesn't know the real reason Luke's kept singing their song. She doesn't know he's been sober for 5 years and that he's tired of watching his career wither while he hides his real voice behind radio-friendly production polish. She doesn't know he sees his return to Arcadia as a chance to finally make things right. If she doesn't burn down his career, he'll do it for her. The angst is glorious. Everyone in this book is ruined in some way that will never be fixed. People do monstrous things to the ones they love. This is not the aw shucks kind of country. It's the murder ballads, the rolling thunder, the long black road, and the best romance I've read all year.
All right, here we go. And then it gets to be spooky season, so...
Yep, so I should say that the other books mentioned in this column of Olivia's, one of them being The Entanglement of Rival Wizards, which is in which a magical graduate student has to work with his nemesis from another department in order to keep his funding and complete his degree, which is really funny. All right. What else is she mentioning? We've got By Martian Moore by Annick Trent, which is a Regency. Olivia writes a lot about Regencies. She likes those a lot. So those are the three mentioned in this column. August Lane obviously sounds great, but the Wizard one sounds hilarious. Perhaps in October. But I also have some other October-y things in my NetGalley that I will share with you, Abigail, and the people to consider for some spookies.
Excellent.
I also want to know, I present this to you and to the people, if we should do a reread of My Oxford Year and watch the movie.
That is a great idea, because I have not watched the movie yet because I feel a little nervous. And it is, as we lead into the Emily Henry Netflixification of People We Meet on Vacation, this is a good idea.
Yes, and I've heard not great things, but not bad things about the movie. If you, the people, are also interested in this, let us know. But I think it would be fun to do a little bonus episode about the movie version of a book that we both really like. But I haven't read the book in years, so I would have to reread it.
Yes, same.
Also, if y'all have October or November books, fall books, spooky books, that you have requests for us to read, let us know. Otherwise, I'm going to do what I always do and dive deep into the NetGalley waters.
Yep.
And pull something weird out. We always got to have one really weird one.
That's so true. Well, with that, happy false fall if you live in Texas.
While we were recording this, I got a push alert from the Statesman saying that the Goldilocks weather is gone and it's going to get hot again.
I know,
so,
but it's okay.
cool.
I've still got my pumpkin candle going. It's
Me
fine.
too. That pumpkin candle is keeping me clinging to life this week.
Same here.
Abigail and I went to Trader Joe's and bought like a truly obscene amount of fall stuff.
And it was great.
I have to say that I got the cinnamon roll overnight lip mask stuff. It's awesome.
All right, guess I gotta go back.
I really like it. I really like it.
Back.
Because Abigail knows this, but the people don't. I chew on my lips a lot, like nervously, like bite my lips, and so they're always all torn up. So it's helping.
Yay!
Yay! Love to have a nervous habit that destroys my body.
Yep, I have one.
What are you reading right now or picking up next?
I have to go to a meeting.
Oh, okay. We will finish this later.
Yep. My meeting.
We're reading nothing right now. Bye.
I can come back in like a few minutes.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I have shit to do too. But
okay.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.